Hey YouTube, Jay Kilroy here. Got a little pacemaker update. There's the gear. It was really easy to get out, honestly. Once I got that bearing retainer out, it pulled out smooth as glass. Everyone's suggestions and comments were right on the money. This could be a short little video, but let's roll the video on me taking this thing on out of there, and then we'll recap once we're done. Hey YouTube, it's Jay Kilroy back in the shop, and we're getting right at it with the pacemaker here. We're going to pull this this bearing and hopefully this shaft and gear, be able to get this out so we can get this fixed. And what you see here is I got a couple strap clamps. Move the camera in closer so you can get a little better shot. I got a couple strap clamps here with a stud running up into this threaded center on this shaft with a nut here, and we're just gonna pull it off. We're gonna give it an attempt to pull off right here. Not bad. Appears to be moving pretty easily, actually. Not putting hardly any force on this. The bearing back here is coming out of the seat. So that's working. I guess when you consider this machine 70 years old, this is a mark of true craftsmanship. Okay, the bearing in the back here is almost completely loose. I don't know if you can see here, but the bearing's flush now. Whoop. Okay, that was kind of easy. Get this off of here. Here's the bearing seat. It's number 225. Appears to be in really good shape. Doesn't appear to be anything wrong with it. Sure, certainly there's plenty of lube up in there. Let's take the stud out. Well, the shaft is loose. The seat's out of this end, obviously. The bearing, the shaft is completely loose to move back and forth. But the bearings are pressed on both ends, so I've either got to take this bearing off here or the bearing on the far end. If the bearing on the far end came off, then the whole shaft would slide out. So let me look at that for a second, get right back with you. All right, gears out. Basically, once I pulled that shaft out, got that bearing out, got the bearing, the cup out on the big side, the outboard side, the whole shaft just lifted right out. And I didn't have to do any rigmarole or disassemble any other part of the machine. Both the bearings appear to be in good shape, which is good. Well, the little bearing is not too bad. I can get it pretty cheap, actually. The big bearing, not so much. And I really don't want to replace it. I'm going to hold it up here so you can get a little better view at some of the features of this thing and why it's not a simple process. All right, so this shaft here is keyed shaft. This is what this gear slides back and forth on. The key rides in this split bushing right here that's threaded, and this lock collar, actually I had it off of there. There's a lock collar on both sides. I think it's the other side I had loose. That attaches this gear here. Now, this side of the gear ID is just round, right? Nothing fancy about it. This side, not so much. So, here you can see this is the little spur gear that rides along with it here. The teeth of this gear are actually cut into, there's actually gear-shaped grooves, splines, involute splines that match this tooth profile in the ID of this gear. Let me get a light so that maybe you can see that a little better. Alrighty. If you look down in here, this gear is actually cut. See, that's all the way through. But then this gear is cut with this shape, this tooth profile shape, and is actually mated to this gear through that that fit. Let me widen that out some. A lot of people have been asking me, you know, Jay, why don't you just make a new gear? Well, a couple of reasons. One, this gear is through hard. It's hard all the way through, and it is hard, as in file just skates across it. Two, the ID is not a round hole. I might consider making a new gear and sending out having hardened, and then sending it to somebody else that can grind gear teeth and having that made. But that, I'm not equipped to cut partial involute splines. That's some pretty nice work. I mean, you wonder why these machines were so expensive when they were new. Now you know, right? So anyway, that's one of the other details about this gear. So yeah, this is a lot more complex a part than it looks. It's not just a straight cut spur gear. it's a through hardened straight cut spur gear with a partial involute spline ID that mates up to another existing hardened straight cut spur gear that you would have to match. So yeah, no, we're gonna leave this to some gear professionals. So I'm gonna basically get pictures of this, get measurements and pictures of this, and then why don't we do that right now? Just a second. Sorry about that. So the gear is 7 1/8 inches OD, and an inch wide, 0.995. It's 0.995 inch thick, 7 1/8 inches OD, and it's let me count the teeth just a second. Okay, 55 teeth, 7 1/8 OD. Just a second. I'm not going to cheat or anything. But gear gauge. It looks like a 14.5 pressure angle. It's an 8-pitch gear. 14.5 degree pressure angle, 7 1/8 OD, and we're gonna find some. Excuse me. So there you go. It's out. And like I said, we're going to find some professional gear people to figure out what they can do with this. I mean, I'm sure it's fixable. So I just got to send out, get some measurements, take my measurements, some email, some pictures, and email it out, get some quotes, and I'll let you know what I find out.